start off always finding that good Pilates posture. So bringing the feet out under the hips, making sure that your weight is evenly distributed across your feet, knees nice and soft, and then start to kind of lift and lengthen, feeling taller as you come all the way up here through the spine. The shoulders are down, the chest is lifted, and the arms are down by your side. And then of course this whole lower region here, we want to make sure we are in neutral. So just drawing that tailbone in slightly, just a very small movement. Perhaps feeling these very lower abdominals start to engage to maneuver that pelvic tilt. And then relax the arms down. So from here, we're going to start off just with a bit of mobility. So let's take a breath in. And then on the exhale, the chin falls into the chest. Let's roll forwards here. So keep the knees soft as we come down. Now, it is early, so if you are not long out of the duvet, then you may be a little bit limited in your own mobility. So just take it easy. Don't feel like don't force anything. Just keep everything relaxed. Take a breath in. Exhale. Let the chin fall into the chest. Remember, you're like a rag doll when you're doing these roll downs. And again, breath in as we lift. This time when we come up, let's just add a little bit of shoulder mobility as well. I know the focus is on the lower back, but let's wake everywhere up. Arms all the way down. Take a breath in. Chin into the chest. We come forwards. Good. Hold it here now. Hold it here. Good. Now from here, just take hold of these elbows. So you want your head just to hang down nice and loose. The crown of your head should be down to the floor. And then we're just going to twist to the right. So keep the hips still. This is purely a movement that's coming from the trunk of the body here. So everything else, the lower part of the body is still. Just imagine you're kind of shortening at the waist. God, my hay fever's bad this morning. I'll be glad when this part of summer's over with. Good, and then drop the arms down, take a breath in as we lift. Good, all the way up. Now, it wouldn't be a lower back mobility session without a bit of pelvic action. So, I'm going to turn to face you. I think this is the one good thing about lockdown. We don't have that awkward pelvic thrusting in each other's faces in a class. We can do it in the safety of our own home. So bring your fingers up here, resting on the top of your hip bone. And I want you to, all of the movement is driven by the tailbone. So imagine that you're kind of hiding it away. So drawing the tailbone underneath is hiding away from the world. And therefore your pelvis is rotating back. You will have quite a strong engagement of these lower abdominals here. And then we want to stick out our tailbone and say hello to everyone again. So now you've got the pubic bone tucked underneath, the bottom sticking out here, the tailbone sticking out, and then again we take all the way back under. So some people find it difficult to coordinate this movement or lack the mobility. So it is worth spending a bit of time trying to improve mobility in this area if you can. So I sometimes like to have one hand behind and one hand in front to really feel the movement. And if you notice, I've deliberately stood sideways on here. So you can see that my knees are really very soft here, because you need a soft knee to help facilitate the movement. And everything is isolated apart from this pelvis here. So everything is still. Sometimes people, because they have limited mobility, start to do this, which I understand, but it's really thinking about the movement being driven by the tailbone. Good. Good, good, good. So let's take a couple more here. And then you want to rest your tailbone kind of midway between those two extremes. So then you're in your neutral spine. And again, we're going to roll down. Take a breath in. Exhale. All the way down here. And then this time you're going to bend your knees, drop yourself down into tabletop. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And then we're going to take a similar movement but through the whole of the spine now. So this time take a breath in, make sure you've already drawn in through the trunk of the body here, so you've got hold of the core muscles. And then on the exhale, chin into the chest, we're going to hide that tailbone underneath again. And then we come back into neutral. So unlike in yoga, when I teach this, I don't press the tummy down. I just come back to neutral here. Good, and again. And again, you can kind of emphasize this, the warmer you get. So really go for it. Chin into the chest, tailbone under. Feel those tummy muscles activate actually to draw that spine up. Good, now from here, we're going to take a breath in. And then on your exhale, I want you to just slide your right arm, left leg forwards here. Shoulder hip height. Now, if you're not long up and balance is a little bit of an issue, you can keep the fingers and the toes down to the floor. Come all the way back and then take the same to the other side. So the focus here being on, yes, we want to focus on the wrists and the shoulders, the wrists and the ankles coming up to shoulder hip height. But the trunk of the body needs to stay really still. So there's no arching into the lower back here. So we reach and lengthen fingertips and toes, but we keep this back here nice and long and in neutral. Good, so really steady. You can just take this at your own pace. You know, everybody's going to be different. Everybody's going to, some people, most people manage this exercise, but some people really struggle with balance. So just move slowly, and as I said, keep the fingers in contact here if you need to. Good, now hold it here, and let's just take a stretch again. So chin into the chest, lift up here, and then drop down. Good, and then lift. Good, now from here we're going to swing round into seated. Now this is where you might need a cushion or a block. I do have blocks, but I just think, you know, join everybody else, use a cushion. Works just as well and more comfortable. The only thing to watch is, depending on the size of your cushion, the height of your cushion, you might find that your knees hyperextend. So you might need another cushion here just to look after the knees. It depends on how much you are lifted here. So this is really to enable us to sit tall, comfortably tall, because sometimes when we're sat on the floor, we lack the flexibility here in the hamstrings and in the lower back, and we end up kind of a bit like this with the knees hunched up. So hopefully this is correcting that slightly. It may not be perfect, but it's slight. Now let's bring the hands down here. Now draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Take a breath in, and then on your exhale, I want you to slide the hands forwards here. But what I want you to try and do is try and hinge from the hips, so that actually you're bringing your chest down towards your thighs here. So you might round slightly through the upper back because you're sliding the hands forwards, but you're not here, okay? So we're kind of hinging at the hips. So your eyes are looking just beyond your toes, and you've still got this gap between the chin and the chest. Inhale, come all the way up, sit nice and tall. Exhale. Good, inhale, lift, shoulders down, exhale. Good, inhale, we lift, exhale. Good, let's just take a couple more. Good, you might notice that you're getting a bit further forwards with your fingers each time. Good, well done. And then slide the feet along the mat here. Bring the hands behind, and then we take like a seated cat-cow. So we lift the chest, take a breath in. Again, just draw the shoulders down away from the ears, And then as we exhale, we round through the spine here, bringing the arms into a lengthened position, opening up, drawing the tummy in, and then again we lift. Good, all the way back. Good, one more here. And then lengthen. Good, now from here take the legs out. We're going to take the legs out to the width of the mat. So the width of the mat here. I'm going to turn to face you. Now flex into the feet, and again you want to sit as tall as you can here. We're going to take the arms out to the side, so your palms are facing out. Now again, shoulders down away from the ears. Take a breath in here, and then on the exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale. Now try to keep the wrists in line with the shoulders, so you're not crossing the arms over. People get very competitive with themselves with everything in life, and they feel that they need to rotate so that their head is, facing the other way. But actually, it's just, we're moving just to a point of resistance. So we keep, to maintain the quality, the movement and the technique, we keep the wrists in line with the shoulder. We're not crossing over the arms. We want to keep that nice long spine here. Now you might find this quite challenging. This is an easy exercise. Good, well done. One more. Good, bring the hands down, loosen off the shoulders, and then we're going to come down onto the mat here. If you've got a cushion you can block, you can just push it aside for a second. We're going to come down into laying. Now we're going to use shoulder bridge now to facilitate the next mobility exercise. One of the best exercises ever in the world, the shoulder bridge. So hands down by the side here. Now you want your feet about hip width, fairly close to your bottom. You don't need to just pull them right the way in, but fairly close enough so that you're stable when you come up. Now from here, remember those pelvic tilts we did at the beginning. So we're going to start off with one to start our journey into bridge. So lower back down, tailbone underneath, pubic bone is tilted up to the ceiling. And then here we take a breath in. And then on the exhale, we're going to press and lift all the way up onto the shoulders. So you don't need to come any higher. Okay, we just hold it here. So we've got this straight line from the knees through the hips to the shoulders. And then take a breath in here and start to roll down. Always thinking about the spine as being, each vertebra being independent. So making independent contact with each one as you roll down. Good, now this time I want you to come back up, all the way up here, and hold it here. Now from here, as we come down, I want you to imagine that on the mat underneath your belly, underneath your belly button, you have a coin. Okay, we're going to call this your belly button coin. And then all the way down underneath your tailbone, so the bony bit here underneath the sacrum, you've got another coin. We're going to call that your lumbar coin. And I want you to use your vertebra to connect the two. So let's start rolling down. Now again, if you're quite deep set in the back, if you're a bit what we call lordotic, you might find this quite difficult. So it's just an attempt to here. So as you get that down to your belly button coin now, you want to keep each vertebra in contact with the mat all the way down to your lumbar coin. So you're going to feel quite a strong connection here between your mat and the back. Now release back into neutral. Let's give it another go. Take a breath in, tilt the pelvis. Exhale, lift all the way up onto the shoulders. And again, take a breath in. Exhale, we come down. Good, find that belly button coin and start that connection all the way down to your lumbar coin and release. Good, well done. One more, so tilt the pelvis, lift all the way up here. Good, hold it here and then take a breath in. Exhale. All the way down. Good, and release. Good stuff. So last little bit of stretching before we finish. We're going to send the left leg away here. Lift the right knee up so you've got the knee over the hip. And then take the left hand to the outside of the right knee. You're going to draw this leg across here. Now keep your right shoulder down and tease this leg across. So you're just going to start to get a bit of a stretch into the glutes, so the muscles in your bum, and into the lower back here. Hold it here. And then come all the way back here. Bring the right foot down. And then we're going to switch sides. So lifting that left leg up here, right hand to the outside. Take a breath in. Exhale, we draw across. Good. Inhale all the way back here. And release. Slide the leg away. Take a full body stretch. And bring the feet up again. Roll all the way over. And come up. And big round of applause. That is your lower back mobility. There's a million ways in which we can mobilise the lower back. So that's just to give you some ideas. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you again tomorrow. Take care. Have a lovely day in the sunshine.